Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and man, I really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to spend some time with me on the video. Always appreciate that very much. And guys, today we're going to be talking about the 5 bodies of water that I would suggest that you fish if you love to bass fish before you pass away from this planet. Should be on your bucket list, these 5. And these are ones, guys, I've had a chance to fish literally all over the United States, about every well-known lake, every lake in general that is big enough to hold a tournament. Canada through Japan, and these are the ones that have stood out to me that I think you guys would really enjoy. So I'm going to go over each one of them and sort of give you a little bit of insight to what they're like in today's video. Also, guys, I just wanted to extend a big thank you to everybody out there that's taken time to subscribe here to Intuitive Angling. And here comes that dang helicopter. Every single time I do a video, that thing flies over the house. But anyway, just a quick invitation to hit that subscribe button. And also a big thank you from me and my family to everybody that's been using my tackle warehouse link that I put in every video description. All you dudes out there that are buying your tackle through that link, you're really helping the channel out, and big thumbs up from the Blockett household here. Okay guys, I got 5 lakes. There's a bunch of good ones out there, but I've got not lakes, but bodies of water. I got 5 bodies of water that I want to identify here. And you're probably going to be surprised by this as far as, you know, because a lot of the well-known lakes are not on this list, and I'll go into that a little bit why, but here's the 5 that I would suggest, guys. If you said, Randy, I got a bucket list of lakes I want to hit, give me 5 of them, you know, what they would be, and do that. Okay, the first one, guys, is probably a lot of people would never have guessed this, but it's the Mississippi River Oxbow Lakes. Now, if you're not familiar with this, all through the length of the Mississippi River, from about St. Louis down to Greenville, Mississippi, and south, the Mississippi River has a lot of chutes off of the main river there, and they got these little oxbow lakes that go back in there of varying sizes. Some of them are 50 acres, some of them are a couple hundred acres, but these are extremely fertile and they're full of good fish out there. I fished 2 or 3 of them, you know, throughout the course of my tournament career. Had the Forest Wood Cup a couple times, almost won one out of St. Louis, running the tournament I talked about where I ran 190 miles south on the Mississippi River to get a little oxbow called Lake Whittington off of the Mississippi River. But those oxbows, guys, off the river, they don't get a lot of fishing pressure, and they got a lot of good fish in them. I mean, it's off-color, dirty water fishing, pure power fishing. It's spinnerbait, throwing spinnerbaits, flipping jigs is about all you need. And lots of 20-pound bags to be caught there. And I don't, it's been a while since I fished them, so I'm not sure the state of them right now. But man, they offer some really good bass fishing, Mississippi River oxbows. Okay guys, the next one would be Lake Ontario. Now, this is probably the most well-known lake on the list, or one of the most well-known lakes on the list. But guys, Lake Ontario is a smallmouth bass factory. It always has been. And there's a lot of different reasons here. First of all, it's one of the Great Lakes, and being a Great Lake, it's got a shorter season. You know, lakes, you know, too cold to fish, you know, half of the year, and another half of the year it's too rough to fish because that place gets super, super rough. But guys, Lake Ontario, in my opinion, is the premier smallmouth water in the United States. A lot of different ways you can catch them there. You can catch them up shallow on those rocky shoals and flats. You can catch them out deeper on drop-offs. Lots and lots of big smallmouth there. And one of the things I like about Lake Ontario is there's an element of like it's sort of wild a little bit, in the fact that you're on a lake that literally can get rougher than the ocean. I've been on that lake when there's been 10 and 12 foot waves on it. It will humble you in a hurry, and there's a sense and there's an energy around Lake Ontario that's unlike any of the other Great Lakes, in my opinion. And I just love it fishing out there. I wish I had a chance to fish it more, but there's nothing like going out on Lake Ontario and throwing a jerkbait and burning a spinnerbait all over those flats out there to see those big smallmouth come up out of nowhere and just slam them there. So definitely one of my favorites. Okay, the next one, guys, another one you're probably not on your list. This is the Acadiana Basin in Louisiana. Now, the Acadiana Basin in Louisiana, it's a real diverse area. It's right close to the Delacroix area and the Mississippi River Delta there. And it's a complicated, vast network of marshes, cypress trees, man-made canals, you know, just canals everywhere, and you've got just a mix of a lot of different type of cover. It's sort of like a southern wilderness a little bit. And the thing that I love about the Atchafalaya Basin is you've got tons and tons and tons of cypress trees, these ancient cypress tree groves there. And again, it's a different energy. And that's one of the things that make a good bass lake to me. It's not necessarily the quality of the fishing, but it's the energy that the lake has, how it feels to be on the lake. And you've noticed that the lakes I put in here, there's little to no development on it. I can't stand to fish. When I go bass fishing, guys, I don't want to see a house. I don't want to see another person. I don't want to hear another boat. And the more that I can get to that's, for me, that's the better experience. I don't care how good. You could have me go to a lake that you could tell me I could catch a 30-pound bag every time I went there. And if it had boats running around everywhere and docks and houses and noises and cars buzzing by, you can have it. I just don't want that. I want a quiet, serene environment. And that's the cool thing about the Atchafalaya Basin. You can get lost back in there, easy. You can go back in some of those swamp areas and some of those canals that go forever, and you can get turned around in a hurry. And I love the feeling of that. I love the feeling of sort of being in a wild place that is uncharted a little bit, and the Atchafalaya Basin falls into that. Okay, the number, well, I'm rating them 5 to 1. The number 2, guys, is Lake Powell in Utah. I fished one of the first Bassmaster tournaments I fished back in the mid '80s when I started fishing was on Lake Powell. And I first heard about it in 1979 when Gary Klein won his tournament debut at Lake Powell. He won that Bassmaster Invitational there, and we had a chance to go there for a Bassmaster event back in the 80s. And guys, I love it. It's like Lake Powell is a pristine, remote desert lake. You can run forever on the thing. You can run like 180 miles one way. You've got canyons, you've got flats, you've got clear water. There's basically no signs of civilization out there. It's got a lot of smallmouth bass in it. When we were out there, the fishing wasn't that great. It's been so many years since I've been out there that I don't know really what the fishing's like now, but that's secondary to the look and the energy of the lake. But Lake Powell, guys, is a spectacular lake to fish. It's like, I think I finished like 27th when we were out there before, and I remember casting a plastic worm just on any shade in the boulders that we could find there, and some on the spinner bait. But incredibly good lake, Lake Powell. There's the helicopter again coming over there. Okay, number 1, no surprise that everybody that knows me and knows what I like here is Lake Mead in Nevada. Guys, Lake Mead is, if there's any lake in the country that I would suggest to hit before you die, would be Lake Mead. The fishing on Lake Mead is good. It's not great, it's not bad. It's just, I consider it like a decent bass fishery. But again, that's secondary to the energy and the vibe and the feeling of being on Lake Mead. When you're on Lake Mead or even Lake Powell, guys, there's not another feeling like it around. It's like the smell of the lake. You can smell the sagebrush constantly. The air feels different. The energy of the water's different. It literally feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. It feels like you're on the moon. I fished several times on Lake Mead before where I never saw, when I put my boat in the water, I never saw another human. The only sign of civilization I saw was those dang helicopter tours that go back and forth between Las Vegas and the Grand Canyon that'll fly over the lake. But I just love it, man. I absolutely love Lake Mead. Again, it's a canyon. It's got canyons. It's got big flats. It's like being in the middle of a desert with water on it. And it's, until you fished it, it's hard to explain what it actually feels like when you're running through some of those narrow canyons there, and you look up there and hundreds of feet above you, vertical wall cliffs. Then you open up into a basin, and there's like a big desert expanse, like with sand and gravel everywhere. It's just absolutely my favorite lake in the country. So anyway, guys, that's my bucket list. I would suggest Mississippi River Oxbow Lakes, Atchafalaya Basin, Louisiana, Lake Ontario, Lake Powell, and Lake Mead. Definitely top 5 out of all the years I've been fishing, guys. And I've done this a long time. I've fished hundreds and hundreds of bass tournaments all across the country for, over 40 years. And these are my picks right here. So anyway, talk to y'all later.